Bonjour à tous! In this video, I will explain how to roast coffee from A to Z. Roasting coffee will unlock the aroma that is contained in the green coffee. A green coffee can be kept without losing its quality for 1 year. A green coffee is soft and spongy to the bite and has a grassy flavor. Roasting is a chemical process that will bring out all the aroma of the coffee beans. When coffee reaches peak in the roaster, the beans will be quickly released to cool off and stop the process. So now I will show you how the process is working from A to Z. So now the first thing that I'm doing is that I'm turning on the roaster and the gas. Now the gas is open. So this is my roasting room. And I'm switching on as well the software called Croster to roast. Now I'm weighting the green coffee beans. With each batch should to weight 5 kg, as this is the capacity of our machine. Green coffee are stocked in a jute bag, but it should be always protected by a plastic bag to avoid any contact with the oxygen. I'm weighing 5 kg. And now this is the time to charge the roaster. By the top of the roaster, I'm adding 5 kg of green coffee beans. So now I'm waiting for the roaster to reach 190 degrees because each profile has a different charge temperature. Now I'm roasting Colombian, so my charging temperature is 190 degrees. It can take up to 30 minutes for the roaster to reach this temperature. It's also the perfect time to check my previous roast and my previous curve in the software to check my comments. Now my roaster reached the temperature of 190 degrees. And I will maintain this temperature for the next 10 minutes before loading the green beans. The step 1 of roasting is called the drying phase. Raw coffee contains between 7 to 11% of water by weight. It's spread evenly through the dense structure of the beans. Coffee won't turn brown in the presence of water, and in fact this is true of brewing reactions when cooking anything. After the coffee is locked into a roaster, it takes some time for the beans to absorb sufficient heat to start evaporating the water, and the drying process therefore requires a large amount of heat and energy. The coffee barely changes in look or smell for the first few minutes of roasting. Thanks to this window, during the roast we can check the color of the beans. With the application, I'm checking my curve and reducing the gas. I can also smell and check the color with this tool. The step 2 of the roasting process is called the yellowing phase. Once the water has been driving out of the beans, the first brewing reaction can begin. At this stage, the coffee beans are still very dense and have an aroma of basmati rice. Soon, the beans start to expand and their peppery skin, the shaft, flakes off. From 160 degrees, the coffee starts to smell like toast bread. At the brewing stage starts the Maillard reaction that is responsible for brewing. In Maillard reaction, reducing sugar and amino acid react, making hundreds of different aroma and color compounds known as melanoid. This is the stage when the roast naturally slows down to ensure flavor development. In the end of the brewing stage, the coffee starts to pop. This is called the first crack, and the development stage starts. The third step in the roasting is called the first crack. Once the brewing reaction between together split, there is a build-up of gases, mostly carbon dioxide and water vapor inside the bean. Once the pressure gets too great, the bean will break open, making a popping noise and nearly doubling in volume. From this point onward, the familiar coffee flavor develops, and the roaster can choose to end the roast at any point. The step 4 of the roasting is called the roast development. After the first crack stage, the beans will be much smoother on the surface, but not completely. This stage of the roast determines the end color of the beans and the roast degree. Here, the roast can determine the balance of acidity and bitterness in the end product, as the acid in the beans are rapidly degrading while the level of bitterness is increasing as the roast continues. The step 5 is called the drop-off and the cooling stage. Before I explain, if you continue to roast at this stage, you will end up with the second crack of the coffee, but this is something I don't want to go, as it will create a dark roast that will smell as bad as the commercial coffee. So when I decided that my roast is finished, the coffee must be cooled quickly to prevent over roasting or the development of negative or bad flavor. In small batch roasting, this is often achieved using a cooling tray as the one you are seeing, which rapidly draws air through the coffee to cool it down. With the cooling tray, it will take an average of 10 minutes to cool down the beans. When the beans are totally cold and the roasting process is complete, I will collect my beans in a bag. After roasting, I'm collecting my coffee into a bucket that has the date, roast and origin of the bean. On top of the cover, I'm using a special system called air locks. It allows the gas to escape but prevents the oxygen to go inside. Freshly roasted beans can't be brewed at this stage as the coffee is too fresh. It will need between 4 to 10 days to release all the CO2. During this time, the coffee buckets are kept in a cold and dry atmosphere, far from the sunlight. To conclude, I hope that after watching this video, you have a better understanding of how to roast coffee in the specialty coffee field. Roasting is a real art to enhance the uniqueness of each coffee beans and to reach the perfectly balanced coffee cup. In Café Sego, when you are drinking your coffee, we are making sure that each batch is roasted perfectly, so you can enjoy at the most. À bientôt!